Alright guys, here. As a lot of you have caught on, my main objective is to highlight everything that's going on throughout the course of the days and the weeks for MMTLP so that it condenses it all for you. I am recording this on the opposite side of the camera because I'm going to turn this around and show it on the TV. And there's a couple things that I want to show you what's going on with the MMTLP Next Bridge play. A little bit of it's going to be about the bird lady. She's on a show called The Gist. It looks to me like it's recorded 21 hours ago. They both, the guy that's hosting this Gist, which go to him and subscribe, and you know, roller pigeon bird lady, go ahead and subscribe to her too. I'm going to give you some highlights of it. I'm not going to play the whole hour-long interview. I'm just going to get the basic gist at the beginning of it. The basic gist. The guy's the gist. Yeah. Wordplay. Though I didn't intentionally do that. This is the beginning part of this is for people that don't understand what's the big deal about NextBridge and MMTLP, and why is it different than, you know, with the Naked Shorts and every other thing that they've done with like KMC and all them. And there is a big difference. The big difference is we went into a private company and the shorts never covered, and that's illegal to do. All right. Now we're going to listen to a little bit about the bird lady. My highlights also of what's going on there is also going to include parts of Terry Younkers, which go ahead and subscribe to him, and a little bit about Allie with Trading Secrets, and just to show the list of things that are going on with the Twitter world and what they're doing to try to help bring attention to this. This is obviously something that has to reopen at some point. Anyone that has really done any type of research on this understands that it does have to open up. But it looks like we're going to have to push the FINRA and the SEC and those people that need to make those decisions. We're going to have to give them a little bit of a nudge into that. And like the thing that Allie and the Ham Short Killer, they got this schedule of events that have been going on this week. But you don't have to do their schedule of events day by day. You know, as far as complaining to your brokerages, complaining to your, you know, the other sources that are out there like FINRA, SEC, DTCC, that's stuff that could actually not, it doesn't have to be done on that day. It can be all done today if you want to take a half hour out or whatever. But for those of you that don't want to sit around like I do, watching hours and hours of this and listening to Twitter live chats for hours and hours, that's what I try to condense my show into, to give you the highlights of what happened during the week. And yes, some of it I'll show you a little bit of some other people's videos, but I'm not supposed to show the whole content, otherwise it would be just stealing. I don't know. But I do give them shout outs, and any of them at any point are welcome to put a copyright infringement on me and take complete control of my video and get any profits that they might be able to get from them, whatever 30, 40 cents that comes out to. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and listen to a little bit about what the bird lady has to say. And keep in mind, if I don't know if you could fast forward just to the halfway point to see where Terry's at or where I'm going to be at with this, because I do all a complete live shoot. As you all know, I don't edit. And here's a little bit about what the bird lady's talking about with our Next Bridge MMTLP.
They don't want to have this on their books, so it has to be like held as something different. I think it was the preferred Class A stock, so it had represented this value of the stock that's still in the garage.
26 minutes into this interview.
Okay. So you had that, and then there was some other like weird thing that with the way that the shares merged. So like, what was going on there? Right. I can't remember the exact thing.
Right. So when metamaterials merged with Torchlight, that's what we're on. Metamaterials, you know, here's Meta. Right. Here's Torchlight. When they merge, reverse takeover, they have a new entity. Right, it's Meta. This company owns 75%. Torchlight, if you had a Torchlight share, you got a 25% stake in it, okay? And how they reflected that was if you had MMATF's share.
Ooh, shit, sorry about that.
As if you had MMATF's shares at the time, you would get extra shares.
I want to make sure my volume
and then if you had Torchlight shares at the time, you would get the Series A preferred, which represents oil and gas, your oil and gas. that you were entitled to, and then a 1-to-1, but overall their shares were 25% of the company in MMAT. So that's how it was designed.
Okay. Wonderful. So then the deal that the way that Houston explained it to me was that basically, so these Series A or Class A preferred shares were not meant to be traded. That was just meant that they, so when he said they weren't meant to be traded, like how does that work if there's shares? Like why were they not allowed to be traded?
Sure. Okay, so the Series A preferred share, correct, was not intended to be traded. And there was language on there that said, you know, it's not to be traded on any exchange.
Okay.
Okay. It's not on any exchange. Market's different. On any exchange, unless, you know, such a market develops for it, we don't expect a market to develop for it. Okay, so there's language there. There was a couple of reasons why it did get trading. Some of those pathways are indeed unscrupulous, and we'll get to that here
illegal.
Shortly. But the intention was it wasn't supposed to be trade. You're supposed to keep that share in your account as a non-trading preferred share until sale or spin out of the assets, when it would become something else entirely.
That was supposed to be our
either
dividend.
the next bridge, or which at that point in time wasn't named Next Bridge yet, or it, you know, would have been sold to an oil and gas company.
Okay, so then what happened was the shares just started trading, right?
Yes. So one day in early October, a lot of...
Keep in mind that I am going to go ahead and show you what Terry was talking about. There's, again, some... well, hold on a second here. Let's turn this back around. There's some buy buttons that are showing up. And it's the examples that I'm going to show you on that one, and I believe that... I don't think that one was Robinhood. It might have been. I know that a lot of people are catching screenshots of. We think they're testing the market with all these CUSIPs. There's literally 100 some odd brokers out there that have MMTLP or some type of a CUSIP, you know, that's out there that stands for MMTLP. So we do believe that it can be activated with all of them simultaneously at all the exchanges, and that will give your shorts a chance to cover, and also us a chance to go ahead and sell. And even if it doesn't, or when it does, keep in mind that most of us have already assessed this value, you know, about the oil there being worth at least $60-$70 a share. Again, it started off real low, around 35 was some of the original estimates, but especially with the lost opportunity here, and most of us are definitely, I think, well over $100 a share now. So let's keep on looking at this and listening to what the bird lady has to say. Keep in mind, Terry, I'm going to play a little bit of Terry Younkers a little later, and if you haven't, which I'm sure you have, but if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. If you're really new to this play, then go ahead and go over to Terry Younkers and subscribe. He has a lot of good information.
People woke up and they saw that their preferred share, a lot of them had changed its name to MMTLP.
Surprise!
And all of a sudden it had a cash value attached to it, and you could trade it. And
they were hoping we were going to sell. That's where these guys screwed up. They thought we'd see a value, think it was our dividends, and bam, we were going to sell. But instead, a lot of us bought and said, wait a minute here. Something that's worth, let's say, the minimum of $35 a share is well worth buying now at $1, $2, or $3 a share.
A lot of people were very surprised by this, and there was no announcement ahead of time.
But they didn't look into it like we looked into it. They thought we would just jump at the opportunity of getting some money without realizing, no, we all knew if we were going to be patient, it would be worth a whole lot more money. They were looking at it from the standpoint of what the value showed on the papers. Well, the value wasn't showing the oil. They weren't pumping or producing oil at that point, so of course the value showed a lot less than what it actually is.
It just showed up one day. Now, granted, there was a FINRA notice on the daily list for FINRA. However, nobody knew that this would have been MMTLP at the time, so who was paying attention to that, right? Nobody was religiously scrolling through FINRA's daily list at the time. But yeah, it just appeared one day in early October, around the 7th or 8th, as MMTLP.
Okay. So then my understanding is what happened next was people were like, hang on, I can buy more of this? Because, you know, it seemed to them, or my understanding was that, like, they thought, okay, so they're sitting on what you described as the largest, like, onshore find of oil in decades, and it seemed to be trading at quite a cheap price.
Right. I'm one of those people. I saw it as an opportunity to get more, so I was very...
I'm one of those people. There's 65,000 of us that caught on to it and started talking to each other about it and started buying up everything we could buy up. You know, unfortunately, some of us, like me, were only able to buy 2,600 shares during that time frame. But there was many others that had the financial means to buy a whole lot more shares. But either way, we all knew that we were buying into something that was going to be worth a whole lot.
Very excited, and I saw it as an opportunity to get more shares.
Okay, so what were they trading at roughly at that point when you bought?
That's
when you
not what the shorts
this?
were thinking, though.
Okay, the first day it was trading, of course, everybody's talking about it. It depends what platform you were on, actually. It was either anywhere from 70 cents that day up until about $1.20, depending.
It took me a little while to get some money, so I got in at an average of $1.40 for most of my shares. I do have another area where I got into it at $1.60. So I'm paying a little bit more than the average person that got to jump in that had some accessible money. But still, something, the minimum, $30, $35. And even at that point, we were looking at, no, it's really possible 80 some odd dollars, because the price of oil kept going up. And the more oil goes up, the more an oil share is going to be worth.
You know, what platform you were on the first day. But within the first week of trading, it got up to $3 a share. Of course, then the price came back down rather quickly, but it got up to $3 a share rather quickly.
Went down to $3 because now the shorts panicked and they started shorting it again. I mean, first of all, when it was Torchlight, they were shorting the living hell out of it. But now they try to open it up to scare us all into selling our shares so they could get out of their short position real cheap. But in the end, it started going up and they panicked and said, oh no, we need to short it even more.
Okay. And like, what is, like...
One of the reasons why a lot of us think there's almost $1 billion, not $1 billion, but 1 billion naked shares out there, which would be worth trillions of dollars.
This seems like, unless there are billions of the shares, that seems like a very low price for such a huge find. So,
oh,
like,
there's a billion.
Would your, like, at that point, like, what were you thinking price target wise?
Okay, well so that is a question I get quite a bit. You know, if the oil and gas is really there, is that significant? Why is Torchlight or MMTLP, why is it so low in price? And there, you know, it all comes down to your conviction and your speculation at this point in the game. You can say, yes, here's the evidence, you know, what's at least publicly available evidence about the oil and gas. You know, the publicly available evidence, there's some well logs there that you can go look at on the Railroad Commission. I made a video about those. There's, you know, the PR stating that the third-party report, they used Mike Mullen.
All right, well, I actually want you to go ahead and watch this video on the gist if you have the time. You know, if you don't, the overview of what we're talking about here is it's a share that's worth a lot more money. Now, those people that said, oh my God, you guys are stupid, you know, they didn't look into it as deeply as we did. We actually did our D&D. We did our D&D and then did some more D&D and some more D&D. When it was Torchlight, before it even turned into MMTLP, we were convicted already into it. And that's what the shorts were missing here, is we were already of the belief system that we were looking at a minimum, and we still are, of $35 a share. It's a tremendous profit. I mean, you'd be looking, you know, at 25x, if not more, at $1.40, $1.50 a share. So and this goes out to my fellow MMTLP warriors out there, or MMTL family. This is something that is, don't let people think that you were foolish for getting into it. I mean, oh, you should have known that it was going to be U3 halted, or you should have known it was going to be halted, or, you know. First of all, there's some brokers still out there saying that the ticker is deleted. It is not. It's not deleted. It is halted. It has to reopen. Shorts have to cover. There is no ifs, ands, or buts on that. It can't just disappear. It's the negative Nancy's are trying to say. I'm going to go into a little bit of Terry's video here because he's got someone on Twitter that's already found that they're playing around with the ticker again, and this is one of numerous times that they've showed that many times a value on the ticker, and then they've been playing around with buttons that show that there's a buy option. A lot of us do believe, and remember, everything is speculation until it happens. And then if it happens, we're all geniuses, and if it doesn't, we're all idiots. It's just the way it works. Don't take too much into what people are saying. But let me see if I got the right video on here. Stuck with a commercial break.
Since our launch in 20...
Okay.
Get into it.
Oh, listen to
all right,
this.
First thing
Very
on the list we got to
interesting.
cover is my buddy Wedge. Put out this post. MMTLP. I thought the buy and sell buttons were turned off. I haven't checked in a while, but today, February 14th, 2023, I see the buy and sell buttons are turned on. Things that make you go, this is on TDA. Now, this is the desktop version. We click on his picture here.
That's TDA with the buy button on there. And keep in mind, we've some of us have seen buy buttons on Robinhood. Some of us have seen buy buttons on Fidelity. And then they get they disappear. But the whole thing is that these brokers a lot of times will play around with turning things on and off just to make sure everything's ready in case, in case the ticker goes back live, in case we can go ahead and start trading again. But, and then they immediately shut it back off. But we're living in a day and an age of information where we catch this stuff really quick.
And screenshot was...
Let's go ahead and rewind that just a bit.
This post. MMTLP. I thought the buy and sell buttons were turned off. I haven't checked in a while, but today, February 14th, 2023, I see the buy and sell buttons are turned on. Things that make you go, this is on TDA. Now, this is the desktop version. We click on his picture here, and screenshot was taken today, February 14th, 2023, where the buy and sell buttons are turned back on. I could have sworn they were greened out when turned off. Now, we're going to zoom in on this bad boy. Here you can see this is the TDA desktop version. And there you can see buy market, sell market, and they're not like grayed out on his desktop alert. And it still has the chart and everything up there. So, speculation. Could that be what is going on there? So, moving forward. We got Ozzie Smith here putting out this post on Webull. And we're going to touch base on this because Paul here gives his opinion. But let's read the post from Webull that Ozzie Smith shares. It says here, corporate action. MMTLP.WB changes CUSIP number on February 14th, 2023.
That's another thing that a lot of us have been noticing. And I believe that it's the CUSIP numbers keep changing. First of all, every brokerage out there had a different CUSIP number. Well, a handful of them had the same CUSIP number. And the whole point of this is that I think that they were trying to confuse us. They don't want us knowing exactly how many shareholders are out there. There should only be 65,000, but many of us believe there's a lot more than that. There should only be 165 million shares. But even on the lower end, like Bird Ladies and Allie from Trading Secrets, they've speculated between 350 and 500 million. Any of these numbers, even on the low end, would make these shares skyrocket to 4 and even 5 digits. Yes, from $1,000 to $10,000 a share. So, whatever games they're playing, and no matter how long we have to wait, if they think that we're just going to go ahead and, the second they open it up to sell, they got another thing coming. They will get a certain percentage of people that ain't watching videos like mine and ain't watching videos like the rest of theirs. But you're going to find someone like me, if you're subscribing to me, which I notice a lot more of you are subscribing to me. The second those buy buttons are on for real and we can start selling stuff, I'll sell one share just, you know, as a practice run. But then I'm gonna be on there numerous times during the course of the day, letting you know what's going on. And yes, I've been picked on a little bit that I publish way too many videos. I'll publish up to 2 videos on some days, then I'll skip some days. And yes, if you look up MMTLP, you'll see a lot of YouTubers that have a lot more a lot more views than me. I'll average anywhere from just a couple hundred views up to a few thousand views. But my whole thing is that even if we're pushing on and shoving on the same message, the message is getting out there. And there's definitely some information out there that the people in the right positions in government are getting our message, and that there's a lot of behind-the-scene type things going on. And this is all good news for us. It's going to break. The dam is going to break at some point here, and a lot of us are going to be rich.
Interesting. So they changed the CUSIP number.
Watch a little more of this
here on Weeble. And we go here to Paul T. Paul's greatest, his opinion. It is confirmed. I think, strictly my opinion, this is a sign that brokers will be grouped in preparation for trading to resume in order to reconcile all the short positions.
Exactly.
So that's his speculation. I kind of agree. I think this is a possibility.
I agree.
We got Chris here showing on first trade as well. We're busy yesterday as well. Here you can see February 13th. We'll zoom in on it. Here on first trade, Nexbridge Hydrocarbons, a private company, name change from, and it gives this CUSIP number here, to 8AQ9903, result of name change.
I think we're getting much closer, people. Much closer. A lot of these brokerages are testing different CUSIP numbers. I think they're getting things straightened out so that when the corporate action order is given to go ahead and start trading, whether it be for 2 days or longer, it might be longer, it'll be whatever it takes to get the shorts to clear up. And that will start raising the price. Things will start skyrocketing.
So, interesting there. Now, I have checked my Fidelity account and my TradeStation account, and I have not seen any adjustments to either one of those yet. So, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens, but it's nice to see we already got a couple brokerages already talking about the CUSIP change. And I wanted to go back here and see on Ozzy's post if it shows what the CUSIP number is going to be. I think we got people down here excited about it. Yes, this says 3 brokers that all reporting the recent CUSIP changes, Alley, Weeble, and First Trade, all use Apex Clearing. Don't know what we can get from this. So it seems if you're using Apex Clearing, that's why this CUSIP change is looking like this here. This person here, Gator, says, looks like
a lot of things going on. There's a lot of behind the closed door meetings going on. For those of you, and I mention this in a lot of my videos that are picking on John Berta, keep in mind, John Berta left MMAT so that he could go ahead and be a leader in this charge against the naked shorts, and to get us back to where we need to be as far as getting our fair shares. Now, let me see if I got that thing on Trading Secrets. I'm trying to look that up. Now, Trading Secrets, the Short Ham Killer, they're all and Twitter, sorry. They're all running this thing where they want you to call the FINRA one day, everybody to call FINRA on one day, you know, basically harass them a little bit. The SEC on another day. So on and so forth. Let's see.
When you wash your body, do you use a moldy loofah, a dirty washcloth, or you're that guy that just uses their hands while only scrubbing it?
Now,
let's have a quick look at a headline from Reuters, and we can see here the
as long-winded as I am here, keep in mind, this is the highlights of what's going on throughout the course of the week with MMTLP. I'm giving you a little bit of each video, but I encourage you to go on their channels if you have time to watch these full videos. This right here is Allie.
US dollar falters as the Fed outlook weighs, focusing on next.
Main thing I wanted you to see with them. Let's see, what do we got here?
The last day the security had any value whatsoever. So this person obviously is another imbecile. A person does not know what happened.
I love it when Alex calls people
has
imbeciles.
not read the background information in terms of what happened. So John has chipped in and stated here, most people are not aware that FINRA mandated and changed the corporate action. So that is true, and I've read that myself in Rose's court filing today. So FINRA did make some.
Let's go to his channel. Where is it? There is a schedule. There it is.
Today was the campaign to.
There we go. All right, they have a 7-day action plan that started the day before Valentine's Day. Let's see if we can see that a little bit better. All right, now, here's the thing. If you already missed some of them days, don't worry about it. Go back and do FINRA today. Go ahead and do the SEC today. Tomorrow today you're supposed to be calling all your brokerages, but it doesn't have to be on that exact day, because the main thing is that everybody that has an investment in this, and everybody that doesn't have an investment in it, that thinks that it's fair, that thinks that what's going on is not fair, and wants change, should be calling the SEC, should be calling FINRA, should be calling their brokerages, should be calling tomorrow. It's the FBI we're supposed to call, okay? Because there's definitely a lot of illegal action going on here, and a lot of games are being played with the Richie Riches, you know, and the hedge funds, and those people that have the money that think they're going to win, but they're not. Because they just, you know, what is it, lit a fire under the beast here. You know, the dragon is coming out. And not only are we not giving up, but our resolve is getting tougher and tougher. And then it's over here on the 18th, they want us all calling Fox, CNN, all the media sources, which is the same message that I've been saying right along. You need to call everyone that you can call. If you're a senior citizen and you feel like you got ripped off, like here in the Tampa Bay area, you can call 8 on your side. You know, maybe you can get a piece done by them. But as much coverage as we can get is what we want to do here. And that's the whole objective here. Let's go back over to this. I don't know if this is still